I focus on what's our opinion, what's our way forward. That means I have to read articles, latest research papers. So, but I have one advantage, I suspect, looking at all your lovely fresh faces. Just having a quick check. Yep. I'm menopausal, which means I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I can't sleep.
So your top tip is get up at 5 a.m. and start having some opinions on things.
Yeah, you have to read. I listen to hundreds of podcasts. I tend to do that while I put my makeup on, which is why I always have makeup on, because I'm listening to podcasts. It gives me something to do. I listen to podcasts. I listen to TEDx. I read. I have an alert set up on Google News so I can see the latest news. I have curated lists that I follow on Twitter and LinkedIn, so that I know what's going. I belong to every single network I can find. One of the other networks, for instance, I really love, although you have to have a lot of energy for it, is Guild. I belong to a couple of Guild networks where people share the most incredible amount of insight and information. And basically I haul it all together. And if you saw my desk, you'll see there's loads of bits of paper and Post-it notes everywhere. I use Evernote and I use notes. I tend to have notes everywhere and then I stumble across them, if you see what I mean. Because what I do is I read this really interesting report on ABM, which is account-based marketing, from the ITSMA. And what happened is, as I'm reading it, I'll write little notes about how that applies to social media. And I'm terrible. I'll even write little phrases down that are being used within that industry and how that might be used in our industry. So I work really hard at kind of having a thought so I can be a thought leader. It's not, I don't magically have these ideas. Maybe other people do, but I don't magically have these ideas. Yesterday, I spent all day at DigiConf, which is a B2B conference targeting some small businesses, but predominantly targeting businesses I want to be after. And I helped Luke, who runs it, and Luke runs an agency that's a social media B2B agency. We technically compete with each other. In fact, he has a couple of our old clients and vice versa. So, we're really under each other's feet. You couldn't get as closer competitors as I guess we are, but we've also grown up together, been in the industry for a long time, and frankly admit to each other that the pie is very large and we're never really going to fall over each other's feet terribly. So we do these things together. But I got on really early. First off, I started talking about what I was going to be talking about at the event, before the event. When I'm on an event, when Sally comments about a speaker, it's not nothing to do with me. I was on for a short period of time, but this is before I came on. I went back and said, that's a really good idea. Never thought of doing that. Or, you know what, I read an article, I'll go dig it out for you, which is on a similar subject. So I'm responding in the chat, the thing that's sitting next to us right now, at the same time as somebody else is speaking about whatever it was, tech stack, I think it was. And I said, I know where there's a map of all the tech stack that everybody's using, and popped it into this note to Sally. And then what I did is, at the same time, I've got my LinkedIn open and I connect to Sally and say, great having a little chat with you on DigiConf. And I've connected her. She is the CMO of a very large B2B insure tech, whatever they call it, insurance technology brand. So I have now made that connection. And then later on, I speak to her about another event, which I've heard about, but I've done it through LinkedIn now. So I've done, now she's connected to me. I've gone, brilliant, we're connected. By the way, I've just seen this. And 2 days ago, one of my guys spoke about this at this. Yeah. So I am making endless connections. And it's why I'll get shouted out, is because I'm the connector. That's the way I see myself, the kind of Bridget Jones of the digital era, if you see what I mean. I introduce people to people. I use Pipedrive. I allocate. So if I've had a conversation with someone, they kind of move into this process, which is nudge nurture. So nudge nurture says, I'm just going to keep talking to you. As long as you don't hate me, I'll keep talking to you. So a couple of days ago, I dropped a line to a lot of people who are just people I send stuff to whenever I find something interesting. So no newsletter, no HTML, blah, 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 blah. And so I sent them 3 little things, it said. That's all it said. And I said, just in case you missed it, DigiConf is on tomorrow. What number 1? Number 2 is we've got an ebook coming out. Keep an eye out for it. We've done an ebook with 30 CMOs at B2B tech brands. We're just writing it up now. Number 3 is we ought to have a chat at some point. Let me know if you're free. And I've already got 2 chats in it. Well, I know one is about to because they've come back and said, we'll have a chat. We've actually got a project. I mean, it was not quite cut and paste, but it was it looks like I've just slid into their email. Do you know what I mean? And I'm terrible at this. I do it you can tell I do it in a really chaotic way. So I'd love to say I have this lovely automation program and spread. Some of you will love that. I know that. Some of you will be detailed enough to have a spreadsheet going, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's the day I email all my contacts. It's Wednesday. I need to put something nice out on LinkedIn. I'm really crap. I just do everything at the same time. So because that's the way my brain thinks. So I just do it all. I go, oh my God, I'm in the middle of, cooking lunch. I go, oh my God, I could email all these people that I know about the event. And then I just do it. In rotation with my leadership team, we do a live every single Friday. Although, mind you, this Friday might have to be cancelled because I've got somebody off sick. But every single Friday, we've done a live since lockdown. And each of those lives are about 15 to 20 minutes with either we're just, in my case, waffling on about social media, or we're interviewing someone or we've got a guest on. And it's about 15 to 20 minutes, never further than about 30 minutes. And when I finish, I just download that stream from StreamYard and the audio, and I bung it to my design team, who turn it into a podcast, who then take the video and take out what they call audiograms from that, but also snippets. They also re-engineer the video, so there's a bit of a thing at the front and then some stings, and obviously all the subs are put on it. My social media team writes all the posts for both the podcast and now the video. We upload both again, and that's the rest of the week that goes out. And I don't do any of that. I don't do any of it. I have to focus. So my whole focus is on what intelligent, hopefully, smart thing I'm going to say, which is, I personally think is terrible. It's the hard bit.